welcome back. Another episode of Veritas Road. Carson back here with Murph. So, the State of the Union address was this week, right? And high-level political officials have started responding to the State of the Union address. And I wanted to draw our attention to one very important high-level state official who has decided to address what's going on in the country with President Trump and share a little bit about herself. So, yeah, go ahead and roll this one, John.
We're sweat to death. Okay.
Why she's recording this in a car, I don't know.
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee
Pause
Anthony.
this.
My parents are George and Cindy Anthony.
So, Casey Anthony is making sure she's holding Donald Trump in check. So, thank heavens for that.
Isn't she like the crazy woman that killed a bunch of people?
No. She's the crazy woman who, wrapped her young daughter up in, a blanket or something and threw her in the middle of a wooded area.
But she's a murderer, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she never was officially convicted, but yeah. And apparently she's a legal advocate now. And she's coming out to advocate for the LGBT QSTLNR community to make sure that nobody's being discriminated against. But God forbid you be a 3-year-old near her, because she'll throw you in the woods.
Yeah, she seems like a psychopath. Also, she's in the passenger seat of her car, so who's driving? Why is she just in the passenger seat?
Well, sometimes cameras flip perspective, so she could be in the driver's seat. Sometimes they flip things 180 degrees.
Well, it doesn't seem like that to me, but maybe I'm just dumb. Yeah, she seems unhinged.
Casey Anthony's out here. Why is she filming this in a car? Why in a car?
Who cares, dude? She's insane. She's emotional and virtue signaling. Just look at her face. That's in a crazy person's face.
She's kind of hot.
Well,
I'll just say it. She's kind of hot.
Well, she'll entrap you. She'll entrap you.
All right, hit play, John. I want to hear a little bit more of this.
This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done.
She already had her chance to respond.
The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity.
She's going to be speaking to you in a
My
professional
goal
capacity.
is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly up until this point. That has never happened.
Insane
and it's only
ratings.
going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters.
I can't even deal with this anymore.
One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There
Probably by you. Probably by you. Probably by you. All right.
Yeah, we got to stop this. I mean, the BS fakeness, the corporate fakeness of her face.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's real bad.
No, there's nothing real about that.
And parked in a car, too. Where is she doing this from?
I don't even know what was the message. I don't even know what the message was. Just
she wants you to know that she has a Substack that you can subscribe to.
What is that?
It's like a place for people to post articles and stuff.
Like Reddit?
It's kind of, but you have to pay. You have to subscribe to people to get their whatever they're writing. It's supposed to be more academic type stuff, which is ironic given the fact that it's Casey Anthony who's.
Yeah, that hurt my brain cells watching that, and I'm in a fog now.
So,
Wow.
Thought that was a great place to start. Start off on a high note.
Ooh, start off on a foggy note. What am I even doing here now? What's happening?
So
Should we go to one of mine or one of yours?
Let's do one of yours.
All right.
What do you got?
I don't know. Let's see the first one here. I don't even remember. I only remember one of them. Oh, this is just all right. Well, this is just to draw.
USA warned Caribbean becoming a Chinese lake. What does that even mean?
I don't know, but apparently this is not what I intended. But we're going with it. What the f is this? How is the?
I guess there are a bunch of Chinese ships in the Caribbean.
Really?
I assume that's what they mean. I don't actually know. Dominican Republic has severed ties with Taiwan and pledged its allegiance to China. There you go.
There you go. So they're becoming the new communist Cuba, Dominican Republic?
I guess, yeah. We're not going to be allowed to buy cigars from there anymore. Good luck getting Dominican cigars.
Dadgummit, man. Can you grow cigars in Miami? Isn't that the whole point of these tariffs? We should be switching any cigar that we
Tobacco?
smoke. Yeah, should be. Wait, you can grow tobacco in Virginia.
Right.
Why is everybody so like, oh, Caribbean cigars are the best?
I don't know.
We've stumbled upon something. Why are there any USA made cigars?
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure there are.
Well, those need to be on.
We have a place here, actually, in Columbia that rolls some of their own cigars.
With Tennessee grown tobacco?
That I don't know.
Then why the heck are we buying these Spanish cigars?
They're not Spanish. They're Cuban.
Whatever, same thing. They speak Spanish. We have stumbled upon a niche market that can be exploited with
American cigars.
Exactly, with all this tariffs too.
Black Rifle cigars. You got to get that's the kind of business a veteran has to run, though. You and I couldn't start that. You have to get a veteran to start it.
Well, I guess
veteran-made cigars. I'd buy that.
I'm not falling for that veterans trap. Like, that's a trap, dude. That's propaganda.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're a veteran, I'm sure many of them are brave and truly believe they were doing the right thing. But they're conned into these wars that are completely pointless.
Well, yeah, but that's not most veterans. I mean, how many veterans do you know who started a war? Who are directing actual military traffic? Probably not very many.
Wait, what is directing military traffic?
By that I mean saying, hey, let's go fight, in the Ukraine war, or let's go, bust up Iran or whatever. Probably none of them are making those decisions. It's just people who are, going to try to protect their country.
But I'm saying
that
they're getting conned.
Maybe.
And like the idea that it's just like you're automatically noble because you're a veteran is just not right. I'm sure there are noble veterans, but I'm sure there are also POS veterans too.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with any broad scale categorization of anything. I know a lot of cops that are assholes. I also know a lot of really good cops. It's
the propaganda, dude. I guess the point I'm making is, you hear veteran-owned business, you're like, oh, right, they are in the holy grail of ethical mastery.
Right. So to step in, I think perhaps what you're suggesting is to give somebody elevated status simply based on a category they fall in without any regard for their character or the way they behave is insane.
Yeah.
And people do that with veterans. They do that with first responders. They do that with all sorts of people. It's like, oh, that guy's an EMT. He's a good person. Oh, he beats his wife on the weekends, but he's a good person. Sure. Great guy.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
I guess the point I'm making, and it's going to probably get me in a lot of trouble, is who really cares if it's a veteran-owned business? Right.
That might get you in some trouble, yeah.
Right. I mean, what I don't want to do is I don't want any part of fully women-owned businesses. But other than that, should the categories even matter?
What if it's like a candle making business? That's okay, right?
Well, I've said my piece with that, and any further comment can be.
Look, I don't mind a fully woman-owned business if it just happens to be that way. But this whole concept of we're proud, we're changing things, we're just that's just as discriminatory as the thing you say you're fighting against, right? Isn't that the reverse problem?
Well, I agree. And a fully women-owned business almost certainly has a loan from a bank.
And sort of male business. What does that have to do with it?
Well, that's my point. is there ain't fully women owning any of these banks.
Ah.
So they're just getting suckered just like everybody else.
Okay.
So.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, how do we get from Chinese lakes to women-owned businesses?
Just start at the beginning of mine, John. It's getting dangerous. You know how people used to say, like, flying is safer than driving?
Yeah.
Is that even true anymore?
Yeah, it is.
And we have just
Like, look at
received
this.
new footage of that crash as it
I
happened.
guess we have to.
Turn it on, yeah. I want to hear it.
And let's take a look.
This is a plane touching down in Toronto. That's how a Canadian exclaims, "Oh, no, 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 eh? Oh, no. The plane's going down, eh?" This flight, I think it may have been, was it United? Was it United
It
Airlines?
says Delta, right?
Oh, it's Delta, okay. Just like the plane touched down and it flipped over.
Yeah, all right.
And then wasn't there another plane crash recently in like...
I mean, there was a massive one in D.C. where you had that collision between the helicopter and the...
That was that?
And the...
Yeah.
That was a American Airlines plane.
I think there was another crash somewhere recently as well. I can't remember where, but like you're starting to get some plane crashes.
Well, there was one just, I think, today in Pennsylvania, allegedly. It's PSYOP season, man.
That's the one I'm thinking of. I thought that was a little bit ago, but PSYOP season.
I don't trust any of this. They're drumming up fear. I just don't trust it.
No planes crash.
I don't know what happened. I can't verify any of this.
That's true. You can't.
All right. Plus, if this was real, I mean, I would want to know the pilot of that plane, male or female, white or Asian. Did anybody die? I mean, if no one died, you can make.
I don't think anybody died.
Okay, then it's hilarious.
They all lived through it.
Yeah, that's hilarious then. So, I don't know. I don't put any stock into it. I think it's all just fear.
Yeah, supposedly everybody lived through it, and I think it was Delta offered people like a paltry. I think it was like $30,000 or $35,000 because they almost died. They offered a settlement of like $30,000
for that.
For that,
Kennedy.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be worth it.
Well, I mean, sure, but I mean, if I'm smart, right, and you know a lawyer or two, I'm calling up my lawyer and being like, "Hey, they almost killed me.
That's true. Could you sue
Let's
him?
fix this problem."
Could you sue him for emotional damages for like $20 million?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure some of these people are doing that. And God bless them for that, because suing corporations is what this country was built off. Let's do more of that. Let's do more of that. I feel like that's a good thing, right?
Well, I anytime any kind of business lose money, that makes me happy. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
It would take them probably years to actually reach reach any type of resolution.
Worth it.
To a law. Well, it's like most countries are the same way in investigating airline crashes. It's going to take about 2 years to like determine a cause.
Worth it. I'm getting my $10 million.
Yeah, probably. But also you have to realize courts are going to err on the side of the corporation.
Still $30,000. You can get more than $30,000.
100%.
It's probably 33,000. Hey John, before we move off this airplane thing, something popped in my head. Can you go to YouTube? Type in, go to just YouTube. Yeah, there you go.
We're all familiar with YouTube. Go to
Tell
YouTube.
me what to search.
You know YouTube?
All right.
YouTube? Go to YouTube.
Type in Austin Whitsitt, okay? Can you spell that? I don't know if I can. Just Witsit. That's his. All right. Can you go to like channel search?
Oh my gosh. Do you know what video?
Yeah. I do know a video. Yeah.
Tell me.
Hit his channel. Don't play this particular video. You go to videos. Just hit the videos tab. All right, right there, second one. I would recommend everybody watch that.
Are you really?
Yeah.
All of that work
getting
for
it on there.
Okay.
All right.
I think we just complained about people doing that not 10 minutes ago.
Well, everybody watch that video, and now
So
we can move on to something else.
God damn it. All right. You better take back everything you said to John about recommending books after that bullshit.
We have a thing called show notes. You can say, I'm going to link this in the show notes.
Yeah,
you say that a lot, you never do it.
Exactly.
Well, maybe you should follow through sometime.
Now I don't have to.
You should follow through.
Now I don't have
Be
to.
a man. All right, moving on. Let's do our
All right,
story.
second article here.
John, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the that he's given you. I'm not sorry for the I've given you, but I'm sorry for all the he's given you about that.
That was so much more convoluted. If I recommend a book, it's on the forefront of my mind. I can name it in a heartbeat. I don't have to walk somebody through, 15 steps to get to what I want to recommend.
You son of a
off. Look at this.
All right. What's it? North Korea unveils nuclear-powered submarine for the first.
Hell yeah.
Who cares? We've had these for decades. What the hell?
Isn't this this is awesome. I love that North Korea is getting in the game. And that now they're a big scary threat like Russia. They're going to run around in their submarines and bomb.
Oh,
so hell yeah, I am proud of North Korea for doing this.
We could have Hunt for the Yellow October. That could be a good new movie.
Yeah, Hunt for the Kim October. How many Kims are in this damn submarine? I'm so glad that they're in the game, that they are made it to the stage. I support this.
It's like when you see a freshman join the varsity team.
Right.
It's
right. He caught his first touchdown pass. He has made it. He'll get in the paper. His parents will be proud of him.
Right.
Hell yeah, North Korea.
Trump's gonna be proud of old Kim Jong.
I know. He'll probably go down there with him and tour it. And Dennis Rodman will be there.
Right. He will be for sure.
Eating shrimp. So I just.
You're proud of North Korea. You sound like a proud father right now.
I am. It's like when your son does something good. This has happened.
We've got a good relationship with them. They're wonderful people. I sat down with Kim. He's a good guy.
The point, how could anybody take this seriously as a threat? They have been saying North Korea is going to bomb everyone since the 70s. Right? And they just run around and they just speak in their Chinese accents.
Longer than that, man. Since the 50s.
Who even gives an F? So they have a submarine. Okay? Who cares? We probably gave it to them in some Black Ops budget.
Probably did.
Who gives an F? Why is this on the news?
John, can you close that window?
So, I just had to get that off my chest. The fact that they are still pounding North Korean fears is just unbelievable.
It's insane.
Anybody who believes this is a threat has been jabbed 50 times and just needs to just go have your diabetes at home and be a baby boomer at 78 years old.
Go home and have your diabetes.
Yeah, so North Korea, I'm proud of you. The Veritas Road stands with you and Iran and the Vols. Go Vols. So there we go.
That's a weird group of things to suggest that you support. That's a strange grouping.
Well, they're supposedly the villains, right? They're just going to blow everyone up.
Right.
Even though they're just little midgets.
I just think adding the Vols in there is a strange thing to do.
Well, I guess that got personal. I can't speak for the Veritas Road.
Right.
That's me. But the Veritas Road stands with North Korea and Iran.
All right. Let's go on to the next.
I mean, are you not happy for him?
He's going to get us taken off of Twitter.
I'm happy for
Should we get them a cake or something?
We should, dude.
Yeah. What do you send for the first? What do you send somebody is like a gift for? Like when you have a baby shower. What do you send somebody for their first nuclear submarine?
You got to be cognizant of their culture too. So send them a rice cake.
Right. A rice cake?
Yeah.
Just a giant rice cake.
Right, with some sushi on it.
All right.
That's what I'd do.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Listen, we have senators these days who are concerned about the important issues. There are people out there who are protecting our freedoms as a country, and they're concerned about making sure we're safe as Americans. And one of those senators is Senator Rick Scott.
I saw this dude.
Got here. I hear from Americans, it seems like every day, they're sick and tired of changing their clocks back and forth. I mean, we need to lock the clock. Now we have President Trump in the White House. He agrees. Lock the clock. I have a bill. It's called the Sunshine Protection Act, which would lock the clock and stop this forever changing twice a year. So let's make sure this is the last time we have to change our clocks. Hi.
All right.
Thank heavens he's standing up on this controversial issue. I know what you're going to say about this, so just get it out.
Well, first of all, does anybody relate to that guy? He looks like a sleazeball meth head lizard demon. Okay?
I don't think he looks like that, actually.
He looks like the most disingenuous,
Yeah, but you'll say that about anyone.
Do you think that man looks
You will
wholesome?
say that he looks like a normal guy. that I see
Look
out
at that.
and
Look
about.
at that face right there. That looks like a demon. That looks like a.
If you pause and focus in on a single frame of anybody at a bad moment, they're gonna look like it. Pause this right now. I probably look like a demon.
All right. Would you want to be in the Marriott hotel with him alone?
Well, no, and I wouldn't want to be in the Marriott hotel with a lot of people alone. I'm not sure I'd want to be in the hotel with you. Like, what's your point?
My point is that he is just creepy looking.
And
And
like a normal guy. He looks like a normal, dirty old man that I see every day.
Well, we'll let the commenters decide. I guarantee you more people are going to be on my side. But anyway, I don't see an American flag anywhere.
No American flag, but there is a flag for Israel.
Yeah, I see that Star of Renfren ancient deity demon flag on there.
Oh, we gotta, whatever we're doing over there, we gotta defend Hamas or kill Hamas, whatever we're doing with Hamas.
What a joke, dude.
I like Hamas with chips. It's good.
So where is Rick Scott from? Florida or Texas or somewhere?
Florida.
Florida.
Sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably a dual citizen. He probably just goes to war, and well, he definitely does. Look at the flag.
Yeah.
And what's scary about this is
What?
well, his
We're
name's
locking the clock. I'm not scared. I'm excited.
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Haven't you? There's been like kind of a push, like within the past 5 years, where daylight savings time has become just like this huge deal.
It does seem to be a disproportionately. I mean, I think daylight savings time is retarded. Don't get me wrong. Like, why are we doing that now? There's no reason for us to do that now at all. But it does seem to be an oddly hot ticket item in some places.
It seems to be inorganic how it's risen to the point of outrage.
I don't know. It could
Daylight
just be,
savings time is now on the same level as like
human trafficking.
Yeah, or like all these freaking like Me Too. Daylight savings time is the new Me Too movement,
I got daylight savings time.
right?
I mean, I don't know why it's become such a big deal. I think it's stupid. I'd love to get rid of it. I'm pissed today because it's now an hour later than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Just dumb.
Well, you know me and my contrarian personality. I'm ticking back to supporting daylight savings time just because of
stupid.
just because of videos like this.
That's retarded.
So I can't. I stand with daylight savings time.
You.
Yeah.
All right,
He's a traitor to America.
Well, I mean, who cares about that? Do we care about that anymore?
They all are.
I don't feel like we care about that anymore.
Even the Hodge twins.
Now, if he's a traitor to Ukraine, I'm pissed.
the Hodge twins are calling him out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at that. Was one of the comments on there.
What do they say?
Why the hell do you have the flag of a foreign country behind you?
That's a fair question.
It really is. All right, let's go to my last
Twitter's
one.
great. All right.
And it relates to this
Good.
unintentionally. Now listen, y'all. Anyway, before you hit too late. I was just gonna say, when you think this world is going downhill, everything's going to hell, there's no bright future,
Mm-hmm.
I'd send you a link to this article.
Okay.
Some of us
Nearly a quarter of Americans
are trending
believe
in the right direction.
Hitler was a good person. Oh,
What do you think
Wow.
about this post?
I don't know. The Jerusalem Post. That's a publication. The Jerusalem Post.
Apparently.
What the hell?
It's a massive pro-Israel publication.
Thanks, John. I couldn't have figured that out. I appreciate it. All right. So, scrolling up and down. Stop. Most Americans think Hitler was a bad person at 65%, with majorities across party lines. Democrats at 75%, Republicans at 60%, and independents at 59%. Independents are fans of Hitler at 59%. Wow. All right. So 41% of independents do not believe Hitler was problematic.
Don't you think?
Ron Paul supports Hitler. That's what I'm reading when I read this article.
Well, as an independent, a libertarian, I guess.
No, not necessarily, but it would be considered.
I guess the idea behind them posting this article was be like, look at this alarming percentage that think Hitler was a good person or that don't think it was a bad person.
Yes.
It's almost like this propaganda is starting to wear off, so we got to introduce this back into the news cycle. All right? Now, the only people who look at this with concern and outrage has got to be baby boomers or people that are jacked beyond their mind. Like, to me, looking at this article, immediately sheds layers of propaganda. And be like, this is hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Like, who? This is hilarious.
Who gives
Exactly.
like, who gives two scroll down a little bit, John. I'm curious about the rest of this article, if you don't mind. All right. Nearly a quarter of Americans think Adolf Hitler was a good... I would love to have been able to interview some of these people at this supposed interview they did. I think Adolf Hitler was a good person. 18% of Democrats, 20% of independents, and 33% of Republicans.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Republicans are fans. They're real fans. Wow. According to a recent poll published by YouGov. Wow.
YouGov.
Oh.
I mean, you could have been a Goyim thing. Could have been like a...
If that, I mean, that doesn't that make sense?
It does
though?
make
YouGov?
sense. It does
That'd be
make sense.
perfect. Post surveyed 1,000. That can't be a statistically significant number of Americans. 1,000. How many people live here? Like 30 million or something?
Yeah, what
Or
if...
300 million? 300 million. 30 million is like the population of Chicago or something. So like, I don't know.
30 million people is like freaking Texas.
Okay, whatever.
All of Texas.
But like that can't be a statistically significant amount of people.
Yeah,
At all.
plus, what if you went to like... What if these 1077 people were from like Monroe County, Mississippi?
Right,
Okay?
exactly.
Or what if
Yeah.
they were from San Bernardino, California?
Two wildly different responses. In Mississippi, but I don't know who that is. I can't read, but I like the name. I named my kid, you know. Yeah, I ran out of steam. But yeah, it'd be two wildly different responses. So this is already lost. This whole article has already lost credibility as far as I'm concerned.
How many of those people are just trolling too?
Which would that again
Just
that,
answering
yeah.
the most extreme nonsensical bullshit
Yep.
possibly. That's what I'd do if
Love
called
it.
me.
Love it.
Exactly. dude.
Like,
Exactly. Especially with...
Heil, motherfucker.
That's right. And just seeing this article makes me want to do that. Be like, heck yeah, man, count me in. No, I don't actually think that. I mean, Hitler was controlled opposition, and his mom was Jewish. He was probably a terrible person who was to squash a good movement. But that's my actual opinion. But I mean, for the purposes of this article, I mean, he's like freaking. He's up there with
Mother Teresa.
with MLK, man. I mean, he's just as good as MLK. I just thought this article gives some hope to the direction of this world. It's trending up.
All right, moving on. What we got next? Oh, it's right. CNN wrote an article. Facebook has enabled gender discrimination in job ads. I believe it's like a Northern European, so it was like Sweden or Finland or something. They had a government body rule that Facebook's ads in the Netherlands. Okay, same thing. They all have funny voices. They had a government body rule that Facebook's ads were too sexist because, and if you'll scroll down, it'll show us the statistics after the damn article for Cigna. Facebook's algorithm shows gender discriminating ads to people. Mechanics, for some reason, ads for mechanics show more to men than women. I can't imagine why. Preschool teaching ads, right, are more visible to women than men. What a wild... If you walk into a preschool and you see me there, you're calling the police. You're not handing your kid to me, okay? You're calling the police to come escort me away, right? Like, this is idiotic.
Wait, so they're saying this is a problem?
Yeah, they're suggesting this is a problem.
Why?
Because it's sexist.
Why is it sexist? Shouldn't it be like...
Well,
Like-
it is objectively sexist.
Well, let's
but
say...
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Let's say the problem would be... Let's say there's an industry, like using their paradigm. Let's say there's an industry that's 50% men and 50% women. Okay? But if only... You know, if the men are seeing 80% of an ad that's 50-50, like if they're 50-50 in the popular... Industry is made up of 50-50, okay? But 80% of stuff is only being seen by the men. But if the industry is like 90% women and 10% men, Well, shouldn't the people who are seeing that as ad correlate to that?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
It's sexist.
How is that sexist?
It's sexist.
That's simply math.
It's sexist.
There's a disproportionate.
This is probably how this hearing went too when they discussed this. I would be the government in this case of the Netherlands.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is. I literally did. It doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, you might be retarded if you don't know, if you don't understand the point they're trying to make, but it is stupid. It is stupid.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I guess I am retarded.
You would actually have to be retarded to understand it.
And that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But to not understand
retarded,
this,
you don't want to understand.
to not understand the cultural climate this stems from,
Sure.
takes a special kind of person, bud.
Yeah, I mean, who gives an F? Clearly, there's not going to be men teaching preschools, and there's not going to be women out there fixing diesel trucks.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't understand why there's a.
It's sexist.
Yeah, but why?
It's sexist.
That's just dumb.
Sexist.
That's dumb.
That's exactly how that meeting went. I guarantee you. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Well, I had a picture.
John, we just looked at this.
Yeah. My last thing was not really in the news. It's not really news, but it was just an interesting picture. That
I think it's in the email, John.
yeah, it's an email I sent you.
You sent me?
No, sent our account.
The Veritas Road at gmail.com. If anybody has any comments you want to send.
Yeah, we'll read them. So look how crazy this picture is.
If we can ever get it to load. Computer's getting slow.
So look at this soccer trophy. And you tell me that this is not like a cult.
I think the president of FIFA looks creepy. I'll say that.
Is this not insane?
Looks like an eye.
Yeah. And the description of like angels in Ezekiel, like how he sees a burning wheel within a wheel within a wheel.
Mm.
And
Those are a little cultish.
yeah. And that's a traditional depiction of a class of angels called an Ophanim right there. And that soccer trophy looks like it. Oh, he's also wearing an orange tie as he's doing this. Interesting. I just thought that trophy is weird as hell. And what does that have to do with a soccer ball? Why not just slap a soccer ball on there on a pedestal? Instead, you got to have this wheel, like this freaking...
Well, they do that with a lot of stuff. They probably wanted something different.
I just thought it was creepy and weird.
That's the change. That was the original Club World Cup trophy.
Oh!
Yeah, see, don't you think that would be a little more normal?
That's what they used to use.
If I was thinking...
And now they're using this.
What the Is there anything remotely reminiscent of a soccer ball on that trophy that you guys can find? Put down the conspiracy brain for a minute. All right? I know how you think. Try to look for something that actually looks like make an effort to find something that looks like a soccer ball.
You could say, it is round. You could say that. The soccer ball is round. This trophy is round. That's about all you can do.
I can kind of perceive it if you look in the innermost circle when it's like flat, like on that top left picture. You can kind of see the texture a little bit. You can kind of perceive it out. It's very faint.
Yeah.
But even that's not a hexagon, right? That's
right.
No,
it's not. No. It's weird, man.
It's freaking weird, dude. And what's all that? Is that Latin around the edge? What does that say? Madrigal de Lubez?
Might be in Spanish.
It's freaking weird, dude. I mean, that's got a cult written all over it.
Where's FIFA's headquarters at?
Switzerland.
Oh. Well, never mind. Yeah, I don't know.
Wonder how close that is to CERN. Is, just a suggestion.
You think it's in Geneva?
I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
Just weird, dude. And why is Trump getting involved in that? Like, what happened to the America thing?
Well, I can tell you why Trump's getting involved in it. It's because we're having the World Cup here soon.
We're hosting the Club World Cup this summer.
Oh, is that happening? The World Cup coming to America?
Yeah.
And the Club World Cup this summer.
Yeah.
But the regular World Cup's coming to America.
Nobody
in
cares
2026.
about that. People care about what's messy.
All the dweebs care about the Club World Cup. People like John.
Well, this one is like it's expanded. It's like the biggest one they've ever done. It's like 32 clubs.
Huh.
It's like a full World Cup. Typically, the Club World Cup was just like 8 teams that they played in the middle of the season throughout a period of time in the Middle East. But
Okay.
they, like put it into a full summer tournament.
Fair enough.
But the big bad boys
the,
come.
the actual World Cup is coming to Mexico, the USA, and Canada in 2026. I'm pretty sure. So
so that would explain this then, right?
yeah, that's why Trump's getting involved.
Okay.
Because it's going to be all over here.
Yeah.
Which I told the lady I used to wait tables with that when it came, we were going to get tickets, and I need to get in touch with her now because it's coming to the U.S.
Who's we? Me?
No, me and her. Her name was Sydney, I believe.
Oh.
She was a lesbian. I
Oh.
was hoping to,
Fix it?
yeah,
Fix that problem?
exactly. That was the goal.
Cure?
Give her a little injection to fix that problem.
Yeah, I just thought that trophy was just very. You took that and ran with it. You took that and ran with it.
You got to make sure people have their shots.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Wow. I don't even know what to say.
So the World Cup trophy's
that
strange.
Poor girl.
She probably doesn't remember me. It's fine.
Looks like there's little like moons and planets and crap.
It's really weird.
What does that have to do with soccer?
It's pretty. I think it's pretty. I like it. I typically don't like gold stuff. I actually kind of like that. I find it pleasing to the eye. So I'll say that. But outside of that, it's weird.
It's super weird. I don't know if you guys watched the video of this, but it looks like this configuration on the right here is like has to be unlocked and enabled by a key. Like Gianni Infantino is holding that key. You have to like insert it in the back and like unlock it so it like does all that weird.
It's kind of cool.
It's cool, but it's
Yeah,
weird.
it sounds like something from a Dan Brown book,
It does, dude.
but it's kind of cool.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the orange tie too. I didn't notice that at first.
Trump wears like that all the time.
Well,
I
orange
don't
is
think that's weird.
33, and like a
Your mom's 33. How about that?
whatever.
And
You,
maybe-
you know, you could just believe this is just a normal trophy and it's artistic expression. You can go on believing that. It's just an artist, man. It's just what artists do. They make these freaky gears within gears and then just walk around with their dicks out. But it's just what artists do. Nothing weird to see here.
It is odd. It is strange. I don't understand why there are no soccer balls on it. It's a little weird. I'll give you that.
And it's just a little deeper symbolism for the Club World Cup is it replaced the Confederations Cup, which was always considered a dry run or practice for the World Cup. So it's like this is like a dry run practice event for a bigger event. So that's weird to me.
I don't
as
like
well.
that. That makes me uncomfortable.
I heard Confederation. I was like, let's bring it back. We need the Confederation. That would solve our problems. So South will rise again.
All right, moving on.
Okay. What do you got?
And the last article, we made short work of this today.
We're professionals.
Yeah. This made Sky News. A couple was forced to sit next to a dead body on Qatar. They had like a little like weekend at Bernie's, but on an airplane, which I think that's pretty cool. You know, You get the chance to-
What is Weekend at Bernie's?
Oh,
It sounds like a way to get raped.
Weekend at Bernie's. Really? You never heard of Weekend at Bernie's?
I've heard of Bernie Sanders, and he's creepy. He gives me big time molester vibes, like Zodiac killer vibes. Like if he was 45, he would be a serial killer looking guy. Maybe it's the glasses.
So Weekend at Bernie's was a movie where they like their Uncle Bernie. They went out to his house and he died, but he wanted like in his last will he wanted to do all this shit. So they just reanimated the dead body. They like made a puppet out of him basically and just hung out with his dead body all weekend. You never seen Weekend at Bernie's?
That
It's pretty
is
funny.
mega screwed up. No, I haven't seen that.
It's pretty funny.
That sounds like when the grandma died in the National Lampoon's Vacation. They just brought her with her.
Yeah, it's kind of the
They're
same
just
thing.
like, screw it. We're going on vacation. We don't want to have this funeral.
We're taking game. Yeah.
She's coming with us to Six Flags.
Yeah. That's yeah, exactly. Exactly like that.
I mean, that's not okay.
But
I mean, whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
they had to sit next to the dead body for 4 hours on a Qatar flight.
Why? Because the men or women died on the plane?
Yeah, some woman just like collapsed,
What?
and they weren't able to save her. And so this couple was upset that they had to sit near her.
What are they going to do? DB Cooper out of her the back? Just throw her out the back of the plane?
I mean, I don't know what else you do with a dead body on a plane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could stuff it in one of the toilets or the bathrooms.
Yeah, that's what I would have done. I would have put. They said so in the article. It says she was too big to move. They couldn't move her.
What are they
down the aisleway?
I'm standing with the airline, man. All right, somebody dies at 30,000 feet in the air. She's a 200-pound heifer.
Right.
More than that. You can't move her. You can't just emergency land.
Yeah.
She's already dead. You might as well complete the flight.
Yeah.
I think
You
it
stand
makes
with
sense.
Qatar.
I'm standing with Qatar. I think it makes sense.
I mean, yeah. There's some big people out there, and a lot of those big people fly because they're too lazy to do anything else.
And they'll die because they're in bad health.
Right. So we need to come up with a dead body disposal flight system.
Well, last time planes did that, some awesome guy screwed the FBI out of a ton of money and lived to tell the tale, and that's why they don't do that anymore.
I do not know what you're talking
D.B.
about.
Cooper, man, he jumped out of the back of the plane, and the whole reason they don't make planes like that anymore is to stop that from happening, from what I understand. You never heard of D.B. Cooper?
No.
Are you serious? This is one of the most legendary hijackers ever.
I know.
He was a guy in the 70s who he was on a flight from Seattle to California or something. He was like, hey, I've got a bomb. I want this. I'm going to blow it up if I don't get these demands. Okay? And then he landed. The FBI gave him a ton of cash in a bag. They took back off, headed for Mexico, and he jumped out of the plane and never was found again.
That's clever.
Yeah. I can't believe you never heard of D.B. Cooper.
No.
That was a terrible summary of it. We need to do a podcast episode on it.
Maybe we can get him on?
Maybe.
If he's still alive, he jumped out of a plane at 10,000 feet in the middle of the night over massive forest in Oregon.
But he gave all of these specific stuff, dude. He had been former military. He knew what angle the plane had to be at. He had multiple parachutes in him.
Inside of him?
No, they brought him multiple parachutes because he thought the FBI might screw with him and give him a fake one. He thought of all this stuff, man, and he was super polite. And the only people he screwed was the FBI. He didn't kill anybody.
Kind of brilliant.
Nobody died. The government lost money. I treat him as a hero.
This guy's.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have a picture of him on your wall. That's your ideal human being.
Yeah, and they effed up the DB thing. I think he said his name was Dan Cooper, but somebody screwed it up in a report and DB stuck. Yeah, dude.
That's a good looking man.
Yeah, man.
Looks a little gay, but it's fine.
Well, he was nice to the stewardess. He's the quintessential.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah, he's like a Robin Hood.
A real Robin Hood type.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Sounds like an urban myth to me, but it's pretty cool.
Well, this actually
happened. Well, it sounds like an urban myth. There is a theory that the flight crew and the pilots made the whole thing up because the only people who ever actually saw him were the flight crew.
Why are you so convinced? Yeah, sorry, finish your thought.
There is a theory that they made the whole thing up and there was never a guy on that plane. They
That'd be
just
brilliant.
faked the hijacking, took the money.
That's brilliant.
That'd be smart.
And just said he jumped out, and you can't find him because it was in the middle of the woods. The only thing with that, they did find a portion of the cash the middle of some river in Oregon.
Some kid found it.
Some kid found
later.
$20,000 or something like that. I think they gave him $200.
The kid that's it.
No, they gave the hijacker $200, and some kid found a portion of that money.
The kid get to keep the money? That's all.
No, it was halfway destroyed.
Oh.
It was 5 years later.
Yeah, it was and this was all in the 70s. But I hadn't thought about that. But either way, even if that is the truth and D.B. Cooper's not real, kudos to the pilot, kudos to the stewardess. They screwed the FBI. The FBI screws us every day. They just barge in people's houses, blatant violation of the 4th and 5th Amendment. So go balls to these people if that's real. Either way, it's a good story. The FBI got
That
screwed.
is a good
No
story.
matter how you put it, the FBI gets screwed. So this is why this story is great.
It's true. That's true.
I can't believe you never heard of this.
I haven't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
We need to do a full podcast on it. It's a fascinating story.
That is interesting. That's really neat. Goals. All right. Well, I say we cut this one short. We got a lot of to do today.
Yeah.
So, all right, folks. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye.